Hey, Devin here with OBS Solutions and my sidekick,
Kenny Budget.
What are we talking about today, Kenny?
Talking about a new product.
Yes, it is a product we had in prototype for a while. We're finally done with it.
Absolutely. We've been working on this for like 6 months or more. This is a new step, and we've utilized the latest and greatest in processes, materials, tooling, everything we could find to make...
What? The fuck? No.
No, we
no,
didn't.
Oscar. No, not yet.
Didn't use that tool.
No.
No. Anyway, so what we have here is a new step for OBS 4 trucks.
Crew cabs, single cabs, extended cabs, and of course you Bronco guys.
Broncos, all of them. So what do we got here, Devin? What's it made of, first of all?
It's out of aluminum. The problem we had was, you know, besides amp steps that are out there for your like fixed steps, all that we could find were like the hoop steps that you had to drill through the outer rockers.
There's no support.
Yeah, and they'd flex, yeah, like the hoop steps that Car makes or whoever's like mimicking them. When you hop on them, there's a ton of flex in them, and the rockers shake and move, and we just didn't like that. So
there's a lot more going on here.
Correct.
Tell us about what's going on in this step. I can actually show the back of it here.
Well, the first thing that we wanted to kind of mimic the old school fiberglass step that the Fords had back in the day. We kind of like that style, that angle. We shrunk it down though. I like steps to be like kind of compact. I don't like them to be gaudy and big.
But big enough for like a size 12 shoe.
Like you. The other thing we just thought is, okay, great, we'll build this step. We originally thought we'd make it out of steel. The problem with that is if you get rock chips and stuff, it starts rusting. And we didn't want that, so we made it out of aluminum.
Comes powder coated too, doesn't it?
Correct. All of our steps come powder coated. We will have a raw option for you guys that want to polish them.
We'll match them to the color of their truck.
Correct. We'll have that option for you. For the first run though, they're just going to be polished.
You mean powder coated?
I'm sorry, powder coated.
They're not offered polished.
Yes.
That's too much work for...
No. The back of it though, if Mr. Budget showed you, the back is a steel bar or a steel bracing to kind of help. And the reason we did that is because if you look behind us on our test cab...
Wait a minute. But let's just show them what's here before you tell them about that, because there's a lot going on here, right? So you saw on this brace, there's 2 tabs. What goes in that tab? There's a really critical part here that people need to understand.
Right, and I'm gonna back up. Oscar and I spent a bunch of time trying to figure out, not that, I'm an idiot. Oscar and I spent a ton of time trying to figure out how to make these steps structural and not just rely solely on the pinch weld of these trucks. One thing that all of our trucks have in common is they all have a pinch weld seam that has, especially in the Aero nose trucks, have pre-drilled holes for the factory steps or aftermarket steps that came on those trucks back in the day. So what we did is we actually used those holes as a locating for your step where it goes. And that goes from half ton or single cab trucks, club cab trucks, Broncos, and crew cabs like Kenny had said. Next step we did is we step. You get that? That pun? Next step.
Got him!
Good.
Was we figured out there isn't enough structure in the seam to hold us to hold a 200 plus man, woman, whatever.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
When trying to get up and down on these things. So we started playing around with, well, where can we take that load and transfer it? And where is that best place to be? Because if you try to put anything on this area of the cab, it's just gonna flex it. This actually, this seam or this rib or this, whatever you want to call this channel that runs on the underside of these trucks is where your seat belt is all bolt through. And that's the most structural part of the underside of these cabs. So what we did is we built a mount that goes inside that channel.
That's this guy right here.
For crew cab trucks. If you have an extended cab truck or Bronco, it's gonna look a little different depending on that. And then what we do is use 2 Heims, an aluminum rod, threaded, and it structurally ties in and pushes all that weight. When you go to step on it, hop on it, jump on it, get the kids out or whatever you're doing, it pushes it from not just the rocker area, but all the way to this rib that it doesn't flex. And your seat belts are all in this area as well. Very structural. And that's what took us a while to do this is we went round and round with trying to make sure they're structural before we did anything with visual functionality.
You know what's cool about this? Is it's adjustable, right? You can adjust the tension of the step to the cap to make sure it's nice and rigid. You can also adjust the levelness, we'll call it, of the step, because every truck's a little bit different. These are left, right hand heims. It's got slotted, you just put a wrench on it. That's super cool.
So then moving forward
It's
after
more,
that.
yeah, it's more than just hanging off your rocker like everything else you've probably seen. The other thing that's really cool that Devin didn't mention
Yes.
about this channel area, this structural rib, is the bracket that sits in here. These brackets, the hardware that goes into the bottom of your cab, you can't see it when everything's put together. These are hidden mounts per se on the inside, not like the old hoop steps you're used to, the big carriage bolts going through
Right.
the rocker. You know, nobody likes to do that. It's all hidden underneath the threshold sill plate in there.
Correct. Moving forward, though, the look of the step was something we worked on quite a bit.
Yeah.
But more importantly, is the tread. Making a step was a little bit interesting because we're trying to figure out how to make like a grippy type product that would not just encompass the whole step and look goofy. So what we came up with was a replaceable tread pad that what we sell it with is a powder coated grip tape material or gripping material.
Grippy powder
Grippy.
coat stuff,
Yeah, so
latest and greatest.
best part about this is if you do wear this off, because everything wears with enough foot action or traction, right? If you do wear this off, you can send it back to us. We'll have a core program. You send this back. We'll then send this to get repowder coated and send you one that's ready to go. You just pay a core charge and a fee for that. Not a big deal.
Also, the hardware is all stainless.
Correct.
We try to make it durable like everything else we do. There is a plate that sits in here behind the step where this bolts on to that outer pinch weld. If you can't see it there, it's going to mount here. Obviously, everything's slotted too for adjustability. Again, trucks are all different. Now, what's this long bracket up here, Devin?
Long brackets for our lovely Broncos extended cabs.
Okay, so they're all going to be a little different. So not just one step fits all. Each version.
Right, and I'm sorry, I messed that up. That's actually for extended cabs, if I remember right, not Broncos.
Okay.
I don't know. You'll figure out in the instructions. Oscar's like shaking his head because that's not the right one.
Oscar.
I know.
Oscar. We're just ruining everything he worked so hard for. It's terrible. What's this guy for, Devin?
This guy's a shim. Each step comes with a shim. What we found is Mr. Oscar and I were checking out that we're pretty goofy when it comes to making sure all of our steps are level. On the outer part, what we noticed is they'll get folded in, and sometimes the visual part of the step looks like it's not sitting level. So we give you a shim so you can bolt it up and shim them if you want to really fine tune them.
So is there anything that would keep somebody from being able to put these on their truck as far as damage or conditions that's like, man, that's like, they gotta be careful.
If you're from the East Coast and this rocker, you can see through it, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I'll be honest with you. If your rockers are that bad, it's probably time for a cab replacement.
Before steps.
Yes.
And then get steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rocker has to be, not like that one.
Yeah, we don't.
That's obviously has some bad testing. The rocker needs to be structurally sound, obviously, and also the truss for your seat belts needs to be structurally sound as well. So that's it.
Absolutely. Crew caps, same step, different step.
All steps are the same. It's just the mounting bracket. So if you see the picture or whatever we show you today, that step works on all the body styles. Now, when it comes to brick noses, we're still doing some R&D on brick noses, only because brick noses do not have the hole to locate this step for proper replacement. We're working on that. You know, like Kenny with his brick nose. Always seems to be the problem. Anyway,
Can't help it.
that it?
I think that might be it.
Was that the final step?
The final step is putting these on your truck. Check them out. Let us know if you have any questions, concerns.
On the website.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks.
No, thank you, Kenny.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Probably. Dude, Kenny, that step,
Did it move?
Nah.
not bad. Sorry.